Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And today is the first video of something new that I'm trying. We are going to be starting a Roblox scripting playlist. So this guide is going to be for beginners, and it's my goal to make you guys go from noob to pro. And I'll try not to make the videos too long, but I'll try to make it enough so that you can understand it. And the way we're going to do it is every so often we're going to do like a fun project that involves a specific service or part of Roblox. So if you enjoy part one, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and let me know in the comments. So today we're going to begin by going over the very basics, which is printing and variables. So if you've never scripted in Lua before, which is Roblox's coding language, then you're going to want to watch this episode. If you have done scripting before, you might want to put this on 2x speed, but just in case there's something that you haven't learned yet, just still watch it anyway, because it won't be very long. Now, let's get started. Okay, so first you're going to look at the Explorer. If you don't have the Explorer, you can click on View at the top and select Explorer. Explorer and Properties are the two main windows that you want to have open, and you can drag them around. I'd recommend keeping them over here, but you can put them wherever is best. So the Explorer is where all of the items in your game are. If you go to Home and you insert a part, that part can then be controlled inside of the Explorer. So you can select it in the Explorer, click on Properties, and you can change any of these things about that part. Properties are an important thing that we'll get into later in the guide because they're one of the main things that you're going to be altering within your scripts. Properties, you can change multiple things for a part, including the brick color, which is what color, so you can make it green, you can scale it and make it bigger or smaller. You can change its material to like ice or granite. There's a lot of choices when it comes to properties. Now, a few big ones that you're going to want to know about are anchored. Anchored basically means you can't push it around. So to test out your game, you can go up here to home and click on play, or in the top here in this small bar, there's a little blue play button. Either of those works to test out your game. Yeah, so when a part is unanchored, then you can push it around. Okay, well, this one is very big. But if a part is smaller and unanchored, then it can be like pushed around and manipulated. So like this could be like for a toy, like a bouncy ball or something. But for most of your builds, you're not going to want to have them unanchored because then they can fall over or something like this. Yeah, like you can actually manipulate them and like tip them over. Like if it's anchored, then it doesn't have physics applied to it. It just stands still. So that's one big thing. And then the other thing is can collide, which is a Boolean, which means it can either be true or false. So it's true, then you actually cannot walk through it. If can collide is off, however, then when you hit play, you can. Where did the part just go? That's odd. Yeah. If can collide is off, then you can actually walk through it and like it stands still, but players can walk through it. So let's actually get to scripting now. So if you go back to the Explorer, you'll see that there's a lot of different places where you can put your script. However, one that might stand out to you is called Server Script Service, probably because it has script in the name. And yes, this is where most of your scripts are going to be placed that manage like the whole game. For example, altering stuff on the map or printing stuff in the output, which is what we're going to work on today. What is the output, you might ask? Well, if you click on View and you select the first one in the second column, that's the output. So here you can use it for debugging and testing. So we're going to use the output in a moment. But first, let me show you how to add a script. So if you go to Server Script Service or whatever place you want to add your script, you can add it inside of a part, you could add it inside of any of these services. When you hover over it, you're going to see this plus sign. You're going to click on that and you can search up the object you want to add. In this scenario, we're going to insert a normal script, not a local script or a module script. I'll explain the difference of those maybe in a future episode. Just a normal script. So click on script, and you have our script. And it has this default print hello world. And we'll talk about that in a moment. I'm just going to show you how to name your script. Giving things names will really help keeping you organized in case you come back to a project later and you forget where everything is. To change the name, you can click on it, go to properties, and where it says name, you can change it. So we're going to say print script is what we're going to call it for now. Another way to change the name is to right click on it and click on rename. And yeah, you can change it. So I'm still going to keep it named print script. Now let me show you how to print. So this is actually telling you how to print. So this is going to print hello world. So by print, it's going to say that. It's going to put that in the output. So if you hit play in the top, as you can see, it says hello world right there. And it'll tell you where it's coming from as well. It's from the server, which I'll explain the server client model in a future episode. And it's also from print script line 1. If you go to print script, you can click on that, and on line 1 you can see print hello world, and so it tells you where it's coming from. So now let me explain how you can change what that says. All you have to do is just make sure that the quotation marks are there. So let's say you want to print hi there. You can just type in hi there right there, and then hit play, and as you can see, it'll print out hi there. So printing is very good for debugging. Like if you have big things of code and you're not sure why it's not working because it's not giving you an error message, because error messages are always going to appear in the output. The error messages are what's going to help you debug your code and make sure that everything's working. If there is no error message and you just forgot to put something in, print statements can be very useful in figuring out what you forgot. So in order to do 2 print statements, you can just type in print again. And as you can see, when you start typing things, it comes up with suggestions. This can be very useful, especially since there's also a description here of what that thing does. Now, if you're not getting this thing pop up, you can click on File, and then go to Studio Settings, Script Editor, and scroll down to where it says, I believe, yeah, it's Enable Signature Help. Make sure that that is turned on. So yeah, to do another print statement, on a new line, we can type in print, parentheses. When you type in a parenthesis or a quote, then it automatically does the closing one as well. And if you forget a closing one, then you will get an error like this. But it will tell you, expected identifier when parsing expression got E off. I really don't know what that means, but I do know that's because we're missing this parenthesis. Oh yeah, if you make a change while you're still playing the game, it will not be updated. So you have to make sure you hit stop before you make a change. So now we can actually put this here. Now to actually make a string, you don't want to a string is a object with words, and you always use quotation marks to put it inside of. If you just type in the word here, it won't work. You have to put it inside of quotation marks. So let's just say my name is Bob. Then, on 2 separate lines, it will say, hi there, my name is Bob. It's that simple. Okay, now we're going to talk about variables. So a variable is a place where you can store information, either temporarily or permanently. The variables can be good because when you're when you're trying to fetch specific objects, that way you don't have to type in their source over and over again. So a part's source is where it's located. So for example, this part right here, you can find the source by looking inside of workspace and inside of the part. So to access that, you would just say game, which is what all this is inside of, dot workspace to access everything inside of the workspace, dot part. That would be referencing this part. So we're not going to dive too deep into this stuff for now. Right now we're just going to talk about variables. So there's 2 different types of variables, local variables and global variables. A local variable is, well, we're not really going to talk about global variables that much, but usually you're just going to want to use local variables. To create a local variable, first you're going to type in local, like this, space, then the name of the variable. So what you want to store under. For now, we're just going to create a variable with a number. So I'm just going to call it number equals. So you're going to put an equals. I usually put spaces because it makes it seem much more organized. So you're going to do space equals and then another space. Then you're going to put in whatever number that you want. So for now, I'm just going to put it as 10. So you can say local number equals 10. Now, if you want to actually print that number, so when you're doing print statements, you can put numbers inside of a string. Like you can print out the number 10 like that. And if you go to the output, you'll see it has number 10. But if you want to print it specifically from a variable, if you just put in number like this, then all it's going to do is print out number. If you want it to print the actual value of number, you're going to have to get rid of the quotes actually, and you're going to type in number. Then, when you hit play, you'll see your number still pop up as 10. And that's the basics of variables. Now I'm going to tell you about something called concatenation. It's a really long, fancy word, but it's quite simple. Concatenation is when you're combining two different data types and in the same thing. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're trying to type in my number is number. Like, if you want to print my number is, and then you want to put in whatever the number value is. But what if we don't actually know what the number value is? We don't know if it's 10. We just have to guess. In order to do that, we have to use concatenation to combine the string, in this case, which is this text value, and what's called an integer, which is this number. So to combine the two, you're going to use dots. So you're going to put space, and then you're going to put dot dot, right? And then you're going to do another space. Then here's where we're going to put our second part. So we can type in number. So this is going to combine these two. If you don't understand what I mean, let me just run the code to show you. So if we hit play, as you can see, it says my number is 10. So if we look at this script, it says my number is, right? Then this dot dot is a combination to show that we want to combine this part and this part. So the second part, number, when we put that in, we're referencing whatever the value of number is. So we're saying basically my number is, and then the value of number, which in this case is 10. So it just plugs in 10 here. That's the basics of variables. Now, variables don't have to be numbers. Variables can be multiple things. They can be strings. So also, if you try to name a variable something that's already an object is like a something that's built in. So if you try to name like an object print, it's going to be really buggy. If you want to really name it print though, what you can do is put it capitalized. So you can do local print with a capital P. Now we're going to do the same thing for string because string is an instance. So we're going to do a capital S string, right? So string equals. Then we can just do these quotation marks and we can put in whatever our string is. So we can say hello there. Then we can specifically print our string, just like how we did with our number. We can say print string, it'll print out the string, and we can also use concatenation again. And we can say, for example, print string, and we can do it from the beginning as well, sorry. So we can do the thing that we want that's not a string, and that, well, in this case, it's confusing when I put it at the beginning because it's called string. But we do this part at the beginning, then we can put the dots, and then put the actual string. For example, like, if this says hello there, friend. So then this will say the value of string, which is hello there, and friend. So that will say hello there, friend. And here was our original string printing. Now, concatenation doesn't have to be one string and one data type or one type of variable. It can be multiple things. So let's use our number and string in the same print statement. So we can say print string. Let's say my string is, then we can reference our string again. My string is string, and not lowercase, string. Then, if we want to keep going, we can actually put another two dots, and we can put we don't have to put another string. We can actually put a different data type. Like, we can put number here, but we're going to say my string is this, semicolon, because just for organization. My number is, and then another dot dot, and then we can say number, dot dot, and then we can just put like a punctuation, like an exclamation point. So, all in all, this is going to print out my string is hello there, my number is 10. So that's the basics of concatenation. I think that's all we're going to do for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this wasn't very detailed, but if I'll try to do better on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, like the video, and leave a comment below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.